Hello and welcome back to another website redesign. My name is Justin Rondeau and I'm the Director of Optimization at Digital Marketer. And today we're going to be looking at the mobile website for Draftkings. I was really excited about this one, and as I was looking at how much DraftKings actually updates their site, I thought I'd have a lot to play with here. But actually, what I realized is they're really only changing out their above the fold content in general. They generally just change out what the offer is, depending on the sport or depending on what's going on in the time of the season, which is smart. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just continue to work with what works. But sometimes these minor changes aren't going to make a huge difference for you. And so I wanted to take a look at some of their pages, but they were all pretty much following that formula, except for their mobile page. They did have some slight changes on this. So this is actually kind of a minor iteration version of website redesigns here, and I wanted to really kind of see what they were up to. And so this is actually the previous variation of the DraftKings site, and I'll show you the next one later on. But first, for anybody that's new here, let me just go through exactly how I do this. So I break down every website into five different criterias, or should I say I break down every website redesign based on five criterias. Those criteria being the clarity, readability, appearance, on-site experience, and navigation. So what I do then is I go through each one. I give 1 point to the variation that does that particular thing better. At the end, I tally it up and find out if they're on the right track or if they're running back to their bookie asking for a refund. That refund they will not get. Okay, so let's dig in here and start taking a look at both pages, and then we'll go into each individual criteria. All right, so let's actually now dig in and take a look at each page. So you'll see this is the older variation here, where we have the sign in the top right corner, the logo tells us what they do: daily fantasy sports for cash, free entry to a fantasy football contest, win real cash, play now, enter promo code, just places that they've been featured, I suppose. A guarantee that they saw in 2015, how to play with icons, about DraftKings, industry leader, kind of play anywhere, etc. For every sports fan, so some testimonials, a shot, some screenshot, and then their navigation with some guarantees at the bottom. All right, so let's take a look at this updated version, and this was updated. This was the most recent update that was done in the last couple days, and this is in February. That one was what they were running with for the past year. And we have sign in blue, logo, daily fantasy sports for cash, free entry to a fantasy contest, win real cash, play now, enter promo. They got rid of those publications likely because it didn't really do a whole lot, or they got in some trouble. Over 2 billion paid out. They're not talking about yearly things anymore. They're just playing on the mass amounts of quantity they can push out there. How to play stuff remains the same. About drafting, so everything again kind of remains the same here. What they did change were kind of the content above the fold, as well as some kind of minor changes that were there. All right, so this actually might be a first for us here, because this isn't a great mobile page, mobile experience at all. This looks like it was something that was done more or less for a responsive nature. And for a company that is going to be talking about play anywhere, available on desktop, tablet, and mobile, you have apps for Android and iOS. Apps are great, but if your mobile site isn't ideal for kind of getting people involved there, I don't know how people will look at that haven't kind of interacted with the brand before. Granted, DraftKings is a pretty massive brand name. Kind of that aside, let's take a look at some of the different changes here. So, in terms of clarity, free entry to a fantasy contest, win real cash. Free entry to a fantasy football contest, win real cash. Plus deposit now and we'll double your cash. So they're using a lot of the same words a lot. They say cash a lot. I shouldn't really harp on that. I mean, they want to keep things as simple as possible. They're likely doing far more than just football when they were talking about this on this page. So they wanted people to focus on, generally they can play fantasy contests rather than just this particular one, which I think is a smart move. When they get into too many specifics, when they offer more than just football, that could lead to people being, well, I wanted to play baseball. So I think this is actually this is a way of being clear by actually being more general, which is a pretty interesting way to do it. They also keep it a lot simpler on this than they do with the other one. There's a lot of copy to kind of dig into that's all kind of saying the same stuff. They're also kind of showing these trust icons that don't do anything. Like why the heck do I care about the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal? Um, and they don't talk about payouts or anything like that. I think that this is an interesting way of that we're actually being less specific, improved clarity, rather than just being a football kind of fantasy game that you can play. So I'm going to give clarity to the new variation. Readability is actually going to go to the new variation as well because of just the lack of text that they're doing. They also differentiate between things and links. They use coloration on the links, and they just kind of have hyper focused on a single message rather than trying to get everything into you right then. So readability will be there. Appearance, it's okay. They're about the same between the two of them, so that's actually going to be a wash because I really don't feel like there is that much to say about the difference in appearance. Sure, there's a difference in readability with how they kind of don't stack too much text there in the new variation, but in terms of appearance, I feel like it's almost identical. They do make some changes down in the footer. They don't have as many guarantees anymore. They use social buttons and some other things, but overall, um, it's kind of like same stuff, different day type thing that they're doing here. They didn't really redesign as much, and they're just kind of trying to make uh, changes based off of iterations, which there is a maxima to that. There's a local maxima you can hit where you're only going to get so good before you're not going to see any return on those changes. So appearance is going to be a wash. So right now the new variation it's 2 as opposed to 0 for the original one. On-site experience again, it's just this is another one that I'm not crazy about. They should have something like a persistent button or a persistent offer or something like that that has them as they're going through the page. They don't reiterate their call to action at all. This is just bad. You need to be able to reiterate that thing to get them to take the action you're looking for them to do. Don't make them scroll more. Like, don't make their thumb move more than they have to. It's not as easy to scroll as it is on a computer and those things. So, reiterate your call to action. Have like a following point that's going to have them um, actually, take that call to action of the play now or the sign in or really whatever you want them to be. So that's actually another. The on-site experience I think is subpar on both of them. So that's going to be a wash as well. Which by default already the new variation is going to win at 2-0. But let's take a look at navigation. They don't give any navigation in the top corner there, but they do use mega footers here. Um, I'm actually going to give navigation. This one will actually get. I think in terms of their footer, they have the right stuff here. Terms of use, privacy notice, responsible gambling, account security. They don't have any of those guarantees yet because the guarantees aren't necessary. You don't need those types of like PayPal verified or anything like that until people are in the account kind of dealing with those things. They don't need that yet. That's going to get them thinking about um, pricing and like money. And sure, they could be thinking about how much money they could win, but the pain of disconnect from money is actually, I think, in the brain we're wired to it's supposed to be akin to physical pain, right? So thinking about how they could possibly potentially lose money because they have to put it into the account at this juncture isn't the best play. So ideally, what they should be doing here is exactly what they did, getting rid of those guarantees, talking about PayPal and those, and I think that they do a good job there. So this will actually go to the new variant, and that is a 3-0 sweep over here for the new variation. So I want to say though, like it looks like they absolutely crushed it here. They didn't. This page isn't a great mobile experience from what I'm seeing here, and whenever I know with large organizations when you're getting tons of traffic, which this company does, you can do these little iterative changes and get kind of some sort of data sets to start seeing like did we improve, did we not, is it a false lift, what's going on there. But I think that they do need to rethink some of these layouts here. Especially on the mobile side because they have to have a lot of mobile traffic coming there. Maybe a lot of that traffic or anything is to the application is coming directly from apps. Even still, for people that are not not, when I say not familiar with the brand, I don't mean they don't know who DraftKings is, but they've never actually used them. They might want to put their best foot forward here and kind of improve that. So thanks again for watching another website redesign video, and I hope you enjoy these. And if you have any suggestions for other brands you might want to see, please leave them in the comments. All right, thank you very much.